I figured I'd do a little bit of an update. I've moved a few things around. So, I've been using this 1200 a lot. I really like the display on it. I don't see any difference between this and the 3000 if you're not going to use the extra accessories that are on the back of it. It just seems like have a really exceptionally good receiver. Although I would give the nod to the 920 as being a better radio. Like, as far as like getting rid of noise and stuff like that. I've never seen a radio that worked so well that had, the noise reduction, but like actually like really works. Like on this radio here, I don't have it hooked to the connector right now, but this noise reduction with this DSP is better than anything I've heard except for on the 710. And I don't know what they did, but I guess they must have figured out it worked too good, and then they decided not to use it anymore. I don't remember my 1000 MP. I had an early 1000 MP. I don't remember it working this good. Maybe it did. I don't know. So that's about the only radio that I could really be tempted to buy at this point anymore is a 1000 MP. Any of the newer ones. The 200 watt one would definitely be a radio I'd love to have. Because I can always put a band scope on something else, But for me, the band scope and all that is a lot of fun to have. But I really, really appreciate a good receiver because I tend to do more listening than I do talking anymore. So, I might still be in the market for a 1000 MP, but I'm not going to pay $900. I'm not going to pay $1,000 for one. I mean, the radio is like 25 plus years old, I think. I think the first ones came out in 1998. It's 2024. So, be even older. But the field, the Mark IV field, or Mark V, or whatever the hell they call it, has a different DSP. It looks a lot like this radio, but on the other one, there's a different DSP, and you can tell by the buttons and stuff. I think over here is where it's at on the 1000. And it's not the same. But as far as like transmit audio, I think they all sound the same. So, but receiver-wise, they're a little bit different. But I had a problem with my 1000 where the second receiver was down a couple S units on receive. It wasn't working the same. But if you could find a really good working old 1000D with the all the stuff on it, that's a really good radio too. Problem is that those are even older and they're more likely to have even more problems. But so far, I'd like rank this up at the top of the radios that I've owned, and the noise reduction is just amazing on this thing. I mean, like really, really, really good. And what's kind of cool about these type of radios is that you get more of a user experience. You have a lot of buttons and a lot of knobs, and you kind of sit down and have fun and use the radio. And you're not sitting here like just looking at the band on a scope. You have to actually tune through the band and listen around. And so, same thing with these ones because I don't use the scope on these. But this radio, I like the display. I guess maybe because I had the 991A and I got used to it. It looks like the 991A. It's even got the same thing over here that the 991A has. And what I don't like about the 3000 is I don't get my frequency for my VFO over here. It won't show that. There's some other things that this radio does that I find really nice. So we'll go into the menu and we'll see the I like how you can use this knob. It's like super smooth. Let's see. There's like a thing here. It's going to be the display. You can put your call sign in there and how long it stays. So there's where you can change the VFO color to green. You can go green. You can't do this on the 3000, okay? So let's go purple. We got purple. We got red. We got orange. Doesn't really look orange to me. We got gray. And then you got black. Sky blue. Then blue. So, I mean, why didn't they let you do that on the 3000? I mean, why not, right? Okay, so then there's the TFT layout. And, I'm not sure. Okay, so you can put your frequency there, or you can put it up on the top. Again, you can't do that on the 3000 because it's not reading your frequency on the display. Okay, and then you have the dimmer, and then bar type. You can switch that from. Oh wait, that's for the. That's for this thing right here. Meter type. That's what I was looking for. So you can put the analog meter on there. The reason I use the bar is because the bar will give me two things. It'll give me my SWR and my power out at the same time. And I would like to have seen them do is use a needle meter for the power out and the S meter, and then have a little line underneath for the SWR. I think that would have been great. But they didn't do that. So yeah, analog. I thought there was more than one. So, I mean, the meter looks good. It looks great. But the bar graph gives you more information. I believe that's selected for now. And then the bar meter, peak and hold. I didn't know that was turned off. So peak and hold is kind of, you know, make it easier to really kind of see what's going on. More of a, less of an RMS meter. This is an issue in the 710 where if you don't have this on, you look like you're putting out like 30 watts. Now they have a time delay on it. Goes up to 2 seconds. We'll select that. And then pretty much everything else is just different stuff. Get out of the menu. So, I mean, it's a nice looking display. And I like how the stuff's over here. But unfortunately, the way that they did things with the 3000, you can't look at your frequency here, and it's like there is a VFO A and B in this radio, but I really can't describe or understand how it works because it's not really like the same as other radios. But I guess if we were to go, there's A, is that A equals B? A2B. You really, I don't think, can just switch to one or the other. So we're still in VFO A. I don't know what the hell it's really switching to. Technically, I would guess that what it's doing is it's just switching everything into the A position. So if I was to be able to go to B, I would be on 40 meters probably. But you can't do like an A and B VFO in a normal sense on this radio. Like it'll operate split. When you go split, now we can see our B frequency, but we can't toggle back and forth between these, and we won't see the B VFO. Like some other radios where you can. So if you take it out of split, it's gone. So whatever we have on B, let's say we're can we select B? It just toggles them, it changes them. and then this will send them both to where they're exactly the same frequency, which I don't know what the point of that is. I guess if you're on a completely different band. So if you want to change the band of B, you need to change it in A first, I think. And so like we would go, let's say we would be on 2964. Let's just use that as an example because that's an example of when we would actually use split. So we'll go A equals B, and then now we can go over here and change this to 2954. Touchy. You know, sometimes when it does this, I literally will just grab the microphone, except for it's using some weird step. So now, actually, look at this. So this one here is actually controlling VFO B when you're in split mode. So I actually never really realized that. So we can adjust B. So let's go back here. So, but let's just say we were going to do it the way I was saying. Okay, we would go there, and now the B would be the frequency we want. And, oops. Now we can bump our frequency back up over here to the receive frequency for that particular band. And let me see if my antenna is hooked up. Okay. So we're in split. We see that VFO A and B are on. There's nothing lit up over here, which I'm not sure what those lights really indicate. But we would tune first. And then when we key up, we can hear the repeater, which is cool. I didn't think it was open. KG7H3R, Arizona. See if Mike and any of the guys in Canada are on here. He's usually on here monitoring. Where's everybody at? You guys out playing in the snow? Looks like I didn't make it through that time. I didn't hear the repeater come back. Anyway, so with this radio, we can adjust that frequency with that. And I just think this is so much easier to look at. So we have our A frequency here, we have our B frequency here. Now if we do the same thing on the 3000, it's not going to be like that, I don't think. And it wants to display the A frequency over here, which is really distracting to me. I really think that this 1200 was really a sleeper of a radio. And I think a lot of people just really overlooked it because they're like, well, the number's 1200 and 3000, well, that's a higher number, it must be better. And it probably is better radio, but that's only if you need the extra features. So I enjoy this thing. The only thing like I said, I can't stand the fact that there's like some soap scum all over the case, and I have to constantly keep armor rolling it, and I've got marks on it. Whoever owned it, somebody didn't take good care of it. But anyway, I think I got an okay deal for $600. I really was nervous about buying it, but it did come from the club table at the Hamfest. So I found that, you know, when you buy some stuff from a Hamfest, You just might as well assume that what you're buying is broken. And if you don't get it for a price that's good enough for buying broken stuff, then you're really, really, really putting yourself out there. You know, like if you go to a ham fest and you buy something like, I don't know, a 7300 for $800, and then you get home and you find out the USB is broken or somebody burned the finals out of it. I mean, you're really, really taking a risk on that thing. So, and you're at the point where a lot of times, if it's a radio that's in current production, you're just better off to just go ahead and buy it new. Let's see if we can get rid of some of this noise on here. Now, it says repeater simplex, and I'm not really sure what that does, but I think we should be seeing here, you have a red on B. Let's just go ahead and see what happens when we select it. They won't let me do it.
Yeah, I think he compressed it. I think he understands, but it's just a call. He's trying to get him to disable that on the receiver. And then sounds good out there. Yeah, I need to plug in. I'm only some kind of a way. But yeah, I think it sounds pretty people inside here.
I've never tried the DNR on FM. I don't hear anything though. It sounds really weird. Anyway, I'll pull the 3000 out here, and we'll compare them, and we'll see what it does. Okay.